Good morning, grade 5. How are you all? Today we are going to continue the unit more about electricity, and the topic is uses of electric conductors and insulators. So you would be needing your pupils book page 102 to 105, and your homework is workbook page 64 to 67. So let's start. So what are electrical conductors and what are the examples of electrical conductors? So let's review. Some materials which allow electric current to flow through them are called as conductors of electricity. And can you remember some of the examples that we did yesterday and in the worksheet? Let's check. The examples are aluminium, silver, copper, gold, iron and brass. Facts about electrical conductors. Silver is the best electrical conductor, and the next to it is second best is copper. And if you remember, I sent you a worksheet yesterday. It was having a table and arranging the metals according to the conductivity. That means how much electricity they can pass through. This was checked by a multimeter, and a multimeter is a device, if you remember, that measures electrical conductivity in amperes and milliamperes. You can put the rods inside the circuit and you can find out if that metal is a good conductor of electricity or it's a poor conductor of electricity. So we came to know from that experiment that silver is the best conductor of electricity. If silver is the best conductor, why do we have wires of copper? Because copper is easier to find and cheaper to make and cheaper to buy, and it's better to use. And one more important fact, did you know the human body also conducts electricity? And one more thing, you have learned about the nervous system from Miss Irfana, if you remember. The messages are sent from the brain through the spinal cord to the sense organs, and from the sense organ to the spinal cord to the brain. And how are they sent? By small electrical impulses. We have a fraction of electricity in our body, and we are also, the human body is also a very good conductor of electricity. This is the reason why that if if any one of us touches a circuit or touches a mains switch, electricity passes through our body unless somebody removes us. So human body is also a good conductor of electricity. What are insulators? Insulators are those materials which don't allow electric current to flow through them. Where do we find insulators in our lives? We find insulators everywhere because they prevent us from getting an electrical shock. Rubber, plastic, glass are the best insulators. Some other insulators are clay, wood, cotton and paper. And like I said before, insulators are very useful in our daily life. Now what are the uses of conductors? Let's get to the main point. Conductors, as we know, conduct electricity, and mostly they are metals, and we have wires that are made out of metals. Can you see in the picture an overhead wires that we find on the highway road? These are not made from copper, these are made from aluminium because they are lighter. Then we have a computer chip. All our devices, our laptops, our tablets, our mobile phones, our iPads, they have computer chips in it which are having some amount of gold wires, because gold is also a very good source of electric conductivity. What are the other uses of conductors? Have you seen tall buildings and towers having lightning conductors or lightning rods on them? Why do you think they have that? Have you seen the Burj Al Khalifa? There was a very famous picture shown in the news that the Burj Al Khalifa was getting hit by the lightning. The reason why we have the lightning conductors or lightning rods on big towers and big buildings is that because whenever last time your life lightning hits it, the lightning can travel from the tower's head top till the ground, and in such a way the building is not going to be affected by lightning, it's not going to be damaged, it's not going to catch fire. So these lightning conductors and these lightning rods are made from copper and aluminium mostly. And one of the most important wires that we use for our almost all our sockets and almost all our plugs that we are using for electrical devices are made from copper. Because copper, even though it doesn't conduct electricity as well as gold and silver, like I told you before, but because it is cheap and it is easier to make, we use copper instead of gold and silver. What are the uses of insulators? As we recall earlier, insulators don't allow electric current to pass through them. They protect us from harm. So can you see in the picture, the wires, the plugs, they are all covered with rubber and plastic. Only the part of the plug which is supposed to go into the main socket for getting the mains electricity, it's metallic. The rest, all of it, the switchboard, the wire, the metallic wire covered by rubber, the plug also, they're all made out of plastic and rubber, so that they are insulators and we don't get harmed when we touch these wires. So we should be very careful when we are holding wires and connecting them into the sockets. We should not touch with wet hands also. Now let's have a small quiz to see how much you have learned and how much you have understood. Find the electrical conductor in these appliances. There's a light bulb and there's an electrical kettle. I'm going to give you some time for you to check which one is which. Which part of the light bulb is an electrical conductor and which part of an electrical kettle is an electrical conductor. Not all of them is electrical conductor. Let's see if your answers were right, if you have thought the same answers. The base of the bulb and the filament of the bulb, they are the electrical conductors. And in the electrical kettle, it's the heating rod that is the electrical conductor. So look at the following appliances to find the electrical insulator. It's the same appliances, the bulb and the electrical kettle. Both conductors and insulators are in the same device at the same time, like how we had for the plug. So can you just think for the bulb now? I'll give you some time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's the glass covering of the bulb which is an electrical insulator. That's very good if you have got the answer. What else? The top plastic cover of the electrical kettle. That's also a very good answer. And the whole kettle itself is made from plastic. So it's all of it, it's a insulator. And why do we have these insulators in the bulb? Because in the inside part of the bulb, the filament, it's metallic, so it might give us a shock if it's not covered by a glass covering. Okay, and in case of an electrical kettle, the plastic body of the electrical kettle prevents us from getting a shock from the heating rod which is inside. So insulators are there to protect us. Let's have some MCQs, that means multiple choice questions. Okay, a material that lets electricity pass through is called an electrical conductor, an electrical insulator, or an electrical appliance. Okay, let's get the answer. It's an electrical conductor. Well done if you got this answer right. A material that doesn't allow electricity to pass through is called an electrical conductor, an electrical insulator, an electrical appliance. Let's see the answer. An electrical insulator. That's correct if you've got the answer right. Which of the following material is an electrical conductor? This is question number 3. A silver spoon, a silver colored plastic spoon, or a cork? A cork is on top of a bottle. You know, you get these juice bottles which have this wooden cork on it. So which of this, out of these 3, is going to be an electrical conductor? Think. You should not be taking more than 1 minute. Let's see the answer. Silver spoon. You're correct. You are correct. That's very good. Question number 4. Which of the following materials is an electrical insulator? Aluminium, gold, or rubber? Which is very easy. Really, it's very easy. Let's see your answers. Rubber. That's very good. You've repeated it many times. That it is rubber, that's an insulator. Gold and aluminium are conductors. So why electrical wires are usually made up of copper? Why do we make them? I've repeated many times. Because it conducts electricity, because it is an insulator, or because it is light? The answer is because it conducts electricity. Good. I want you to open your copybooks and you can start writing the questions down, and you can draw a switchboard and the wire also on the plain page, and you can start writing the question number 1. Which parts are made up of electrical conductors? According to you, looking into this picture, which parts are the electrical conductors? The pins are electrical conductors because they allow the electric current to flow through. That's good because they're metallic and they allow the electrical current from the switchboard to go inside the wire and from the wire into our electrical appliances. Good. Question number 2. Which parts are made of electrical insulators? Now, according to you, which parts are electrical insulators? The switchboard covering, right? The covers of the plug and the socket and the wire and the switchboards are insulators because they stop the electrical current. Wherever we touch somewhere else, you're not going to have electrical current there. Only on the tip of the plug, wires plug. Okay. Question number 3. This we have done at least for the last 3 days many times. I know you know the answer. What is a conductor? A conductor or some materials which allow an electric current to flow through them are called as conductors of electricity. What are the examples? Can you remember what we just started from the beginning? Good. Aluminium, silver, brass, gold, copper, iron are some of the examples of conductors. Question number 5. What are insulators? I know grade 5 will know question number 5 very well. So what are insulators? Some materials which do not allow an electric current to flow through them are called insulators of electricity. That's very good. And we have described how many insulators till now? Do you remember? What are the examples of them? Glass, plastic, rubber, clay, wood and paper. If you've got them right, that's very good. I know grade 5 is very good. And which is the best conductor of electricity? You remember from your worksheet and from the slide earlier, which is the best conductor of electricity? Silver is the best conductor of electricity. That's very good. So thanks a lot, students. Hope you have a great day. I hope you understood the uses of electric conductors and insulators. And I want you to finish your homework, page 64 to 67 in your workbook, and you have to send it to me. So take care of yourself. Stay indoors. Goodbye.